Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome to the LEC Post Game Lobby where I'm joined by JV. Yeah, French again. I'm sorry. I had to finish like
I had
this.
to throw in some Danish then since you guys got your French, so you know how to do it.
Well, we will have Larson joining us shortly, but before that, we can talk about this series. Amazing series. Not the expected outcome, I think, when it comes from a fan standpoint.
I mean, just from any standpoint as well, like it's not expected. I don't think so. It's an upset in its own right, and I don't know how Koi keep doing this, where they just struggle through the reckless season. We come into a best of 3, and all of a sudden they just reinvigorate it. And better late than never. Yeah, come on,
we're alive, Larson. No, it's fine. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about you. Welcome, congrats on taking down G2. You can get some water. I think we can bring you some water. But yeah, given how the first game played out, I'm impressed of the way you turned out this series, Larson. Tell me about how it was on your experience, how you dismantled G2, as Franking put it.
It was like a 1 week break, right? So we practiced really hard. Last time was 1 week break. It was between the splits, and we kind of went home at that point for 1 week. So we didn't practice that hard.
Okay.
Like this was a time where we, for the first time, really got to like practice hard and like set down some drafts. And yeah, we just had like a really good practice this week. And yeah, so really confident going to stage. Like before the game, I was showing like 2-0 to Hans Sama that we're going to 2-0 him. It wasn't a 2-0, but I was feeling really confident. Even though we lost the first game.
Yeah, so what is the thing as well? Because I feel like as well, game 1 you had good reads, but skirmishes didn't really go your way all the times. Like, is this the Koi you are as well in regular season, but we just never get to see it because it's not a best of 3? Or is this due to the 1 week break you had where you actually got to set some drafts, I'm sure, create some set plays as well?
It's definitely a combination. I think we play a lot better in like high pressure games.
Okay.
We're not the old choking team that we used to be, that T1 now.
We will get to that later. It's fine.
No flame.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, definitely we play a lot better when it's like more exciting games. Like I was really excited to play today, like really excited. So
you really did, and something you mentioned just a couple minutes ago. You can drink, it's fine. I will set you up in that way.
You had a hard time with the cap. Not the cap's game, though.
I'm on cam. No one can see it actually. You were talking about confidence and how it's important for you, and showing up today feeling confident maybe helped in how the series played out. Something that I was talking about on the desk before your series was the fact that I think for Koi, it's really important that you guys have this confidence, and this translates on the Rift later on. So tell me about the preparation you got coming into this week. You said you had good practice. I want to know more about this good practice and how you regain confidence. Because for me, every time I have you during interviews or PGL, it's like, oh, we didn't feel confident. We felt confident this time. So how is this your drive maybe for Koi?
I'm not sure actually. Obviously, when you good scrims, you obviously get more confidence.
For sure.
It's like even after we lost game 1, I still felt like everyone was confident, which, yeah, I don't know. I'm actually not sure. Like I think it mainly lies in practice, but yeah, I'm not like entirely sure. I think it mainly lies in practice.
All right, practice. Did you notice anything different in the way the games played out for Koi? We talked about Malrang having a different impact than the one we have seen previously in regular season. But how do you rate Koi's changes here? And
I think as well, it was just the reads on the map. Like it actually looked like you guys had an understanding of what enemy team needed to do and what you guys could do. I'm thinking game 1 specifically. Like I know I saw some fan reactions to Trimbis Leone as well, but I felt like he was at the right plays at the right time most of the time in the mid lane when you're skirmishing as well. And it was this presence of minds that we don't always see with Koi that I felt being there even in the losses as well. So I don't know how much you think you got better in that point as well. I mean, we didn't see 2v2 kills the same. I mean, your bot lane still died 1 time, I think, 2v2, but outside of that, we didn't see too much of it. And I just think like it just felt like 5 members stepped up. Sugenda got ganked 2 times in 2 different games. He still survived. Actually, no, the other one he died with a flash afterwards, but it was close to. It just felt like individually and then like coherently as a team, they're just better reads. I don't know if you agree, but like... Yeah,
also like during the practice, we were fighting a lot. Like every game, like in scrims, we were fighting a lot. And we also did it the same on stage. Like there was a lot of fighting. And that was really nice. Also like we streamed Astralis a bit and I love to fight. So we got into like the fighting mindset, which you could see game 1, even though it didn't work out in game 1. We kept fighting, which was, I enjoyed that at least, because in the past, maybe we just lost in peace, you know, kind of like we just lost in peace and just slowly lost. But I'd rather go out like fighting than just going out like, even though you look like a bit like an Inter, like me and Trim, look like Giga Inters in game 1, but at least we like tried to come back and like find some angles.
Yeah, but at least you make stuff happen on the map, and I think for me that's also maybe one of the main differences between regular season and what we saw from Koi today. You talked about scrims and how you kept on fighting during scrims, mentioned a certain team. How often are you able to translate what you guys can do in scrims into official games, and what is hard in having this type of game? Because so often you hear about scrims being really bloody. Usually teams show up on stage playing more conservative. How is it for you guys, and how often are you able to keep the bloodiness and bringing it onto the Rift on stage?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're a team that like translate very like well what to do in scrims to stage.
Yeah.
At this point, I think if you're like a newer team, like maybe we're in 2020 or like SK is now, it's harder to translate scrims to stage. But at this point, we definitely translate a lot of scrims to stage, which you can clearly see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just a nice week. Right. I also like tried to become Caps. My mindset was like, I need to become Caps to beat Caps. So I was playing like the various mid in solo queue, the show get mid.
I saw that. You played some Kennen mid as well in solo queue. You played some Malphite mid in solo queue. You played some Cyan mid in solo queue.
Yeah, so my mindset for this week is become Caps and I can beat him. So yeah, I didn't get to pull out like too many picks today, sadly. It was just like some boring picks. My Kali was fun, I guess. But
it was really fun.
Hopefully I will get able to pull out some stuff. It was like, I now get why Caps are so much fun playing the game, kind of. Because before I was just playing like the boring champs of solo queue. But now I feel like a new person a bit, because it was like so enjoyable to just play all the random champs and yeah.
So you actually play, it's more enjoyable playing the game now as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like it's a bit of a revolution for me a little bit, like this week. Because yeah, it just felt like way more fun, and then you become happier in life, and then you play better. Like it's all like circus around.
There you go.
I love it. Something that I will follow on later also, because I think it's really hard to revamp your champion pool, especially when you've been playing for so long. But that's a topic for later. You mentioned T1 earlier. Of course, we had LCK Finals this morning with Genji winning back-to-back once again after rebuilding. Ruler left. They brought in a rookie. For me, it was the upset of the day. Everyone was seeing T1 take this one. What did you think of the finals, Larson? Have you been able to watch it? And your main takeaways of this LCK final?
If Odo was here, he would be flaming everyone for not calling them chokers. I didn't see like too much choking like narrative online, because we were called chokers for so long time. So
I know.
I mean, I did see a few bits.
I saw a few bits, but it was not like enough. Like losing 4 out of 5 finals. Like as the team that is like so good, like they're insanely good. Obviously, I think like if they play against Genji in scrims, they probably stomp them every time.
Just have your fans send a truck to your headquarters.
Oh my God, no! Don't.
I'm just doing like I just want to do all the proud and say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Something that I found interesting with the Genji run, and I think it's similar to the way you guys won in Malmö last year, the fact that Genji was able to play semifinals and get this momentum leading to the finals, because when you look at Genji and the way they played against T1 today, they were a completely different team compared to what we've seen in the LCK during the regular season. So I want to know how you rate the importance of playing a series before finals, because when I look at the series you played against Fnatic in Malmö, the fact that you went into facing off against G2 in finals, maybe for me, the way I see it, sets you up the best way to get into finals. But how do you rate the fact that you had this series before and that maybe it helped you win finals last year?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty weird that like the team that plays like waits in the final, like T1, I feel like it's kind of a disadvantage to like wait in the final. Like if you have the momentum from the day before, it actually just feels like you're coming to the series and like already warmed up, right? You don't have like too many nerves. You're coming in there and just confident, probably because you won the day before. So it definitely feels like a bit of a buff to come from a lower bracket, just because you get to play the day before and you get to feel the arena. So yeah, it's pretty weird, because like last year against G2 in the spring split, we were the one waiting in the final, and they had like momentum from the day before, and then in summer it was the opposite, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of dominant. Both were 3-0s actually.
Yeah,
so,
true.
It's pretty weird that it's like that, but it kind of feels like a buff, yeah.
The arena buff, the crowd buff also maybe for you in the case of last year. We'll see if G2 can get any sorts of buffs playing in the lower bracket stage this time again. GB, let's focus a bit on tomorrow and the games we have on our hands. Any favorites so far and predictions maybe for the games we have tomorrow?
I think tomorrow is going to be really interesting, just for the fact that Vitality is finding themselves in the upper bracket in groups as well, which they did in winter, but then they lost 2 in a row. So I think for them, this is really the benchmark where you get the chance to say, hey, we will be better than this. And for Astralis, like, how impressive would it be if they actually made it all the way to playoffs, both for the players but for the organization as well? BSS versus Koi is also interesting.
It's going to be a banger, I think. Yeah.
I think they're built to fighting. At least I hope so. I hope they're built to fighting. But wait, what is the other series? Vitality against
Astralis.
Vitality against Astralis and you guys against
BS. I
BS.
think so much fist fighting. I think
Winner locks a spot into the spring finals. So I think playoffs. It's a pretty important one to get. I think. What do you think of Astralis versus Vitality, Larson? Quick take on.
Yeah, so I think there will be a lot of fist fighting.
Yeah.
Astralis, it's really. If you don't want to fight, I guess you don't want to fight. But Vitality is a team that will fight. I think so. I expect a fist fight. I think Vitality will too. I think there is like on another level than Astralis.
Yeah.
Even though Astralis had like a really impressive split, I still think they are like overperforming a bit.
All right.
Meanwhile, Vitality, I think they're a very complete team now with Upset. It feels very just dynamic. Like the team just looks really good.
So after today as well, who do you actually feel like is the top team in the league of LEC right now? Who should be considered number one? Like, if you're not including yourself as well, because obviously personal bias.
Yeah, I think like last split there was no team that really threatened G2. I felt like they got away with like murder a lot of time. I felt like they did a lot of mistakes. It was kind of like the same feeling I had last year before going to Malmö weekend. Like we got 3-0 before Malmö, but I remember like telling my team after that if we just clean up some things, I think we can like stomp them. Because they do a lot of stuff in game that's really legal, I think. But in the spring, there was not. I mean, in winter, there's not like like the teams were not that good, so they didn't get punished. But I think like the thing that happened now that we won against them is the best thing that can happen to like EU, because that means they will focus more on improving and fix like the things they're not doing that great. So I think it's like really good for EU that maybe they get like a bit of a reality check and they will improve some of the things. So I definitely think they'll be like very strong coming into like the later stages of spring. But right now, it feels like Vitality is the most scary team, but definitely expect G2 to like bounce back.
We'll see about that tomorrow. That's a story for the last day we will have in this week of the LEC. Larson, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure. Let's take a PGL selfie, as it is tradition here, and make sure to tune in right now to the LCS Finals between Cloud9 and the Golden Guardians, two of EMEA's opponents at MSI 2023. The opening ceremony is 1 minute away, so head over now to twitch.tv/LCS. Thank you guys for being with us today. Thank you also for following the LEC. Quick PGL selfie, and then we will wish you good night and
Where's
see
the Polaroid?
you. We benched the Polaroid after winter. It was a mess. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Top laners now find themselves in a 1v1. The equalizer comes down as well as the overheat. The Ignite's been ticking onto Adam. He's got some extra movement, but he's not got the damage. And that is the power of the Rumble. But maybe SK can look for a pick beforehand. Oh, they're looking for one right now. There's the charm coming in. No Cyclone, remember, but you've got yourself the cease and desist. There's going to be the ultimates comboing in. They trade it back 1-for-1. Good flash from Certus means he does not get hit. You've got Nuke roaming down here. They're going to try and see if they can catch out Doss. He cannot flash away, and he gets taken out by Nuke. Mid-prio is so important. Oh, they land the ultimate. They put down Certus into a stasis because he's got the miasma as well. There's a good hostile takeover to kind of reset. The feathers fly, and they cut down Exekick.
Rookable now stepping forward. Aegis Assault not going to do a lot here, but he's going to leap in again. Those CDR buffs looking strong. First blood coming through, Maurin. You ain't got no business being here.
Yike. Broken Blade has ult, here he comes from the heavens.
Broken Blade looking to land the spear, connecting in onto Shigenda. There's just nowhere for him to go. He's ignited. The Aegis Assault now coming out. Broken Blade trying to walk this one away. He's going to come through with the spear. Unstoppable is going to pull him back all out there as Larson desperately trying to disengage. Caps so much damage here, but has to be careful. He goes into the tower, is going to try to get it. Now pulling away, needs to time the Q3 flawlessly. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is. War jump, kick flash, there it is. You call it, boom. Alley-oop right into the waiting arms of Larson.
Sorry. I will not yield.
Now go, Santa.
I will not yield. Shut the f up. Don't do this when I play. Look on Ari. Play here. Just send. Woo!
Let's go.
Game 2 and 3 belongs to Koi, and they have dominated G2.
You're driving me insane.
We gotta take a photo. Nice.
Sweet.